Welcome, everybody, to another Oreninc Podcast Series. This time I'm joined by David Erfle, the Junior Miner Junky. David, thanks for joining us this morning.
Thanks for having me, Kyle. Always great to be on.
It's awesome to have you, and we always appreciate your time. Before we dive into our discussion today, I quickly want to thank our sponsors. Nexus Gold, listed on the TSX Venture NXS. New Legacy Gold, listed also on the Venture, ticker NUG, and also Prospero Silver PSL. They're making this happen here, and they're responsible for you being able to listen to this podcast. Do yourself a favor, go check them out, and thanks for that. David, you've been on vacation for a long time. We haven't done an update in a long time either. So it's time, to look at the markets, but also first off, I want to congratulate you on hitting your subscriber limit. It's really impressive, actually. The market's been absolute dog shite, excuse the language here, but you've been able to grow your subscriber list and attract people to the space. So congrats on that.
Yes, thank you very much. I'm truly blessed with a fantastic subscriber base that they're very supportive and encouraging, and it took 17 months to fill up, and that really blew me away. I'm really happy to say that it's been a labor of love. It's been a lot more work than I thought it was going to be, but it has been a lot of fun, and I think I've helped a lot of people. And let's see where it goes from here. I mean, this is a great time to be looking out for things to buy. So hopefully, people have a lot of cash, and they're waiting for some even better values here.
No, if they followed you, they should be sitting on a pile of cash right now. And I always enjoy reading your Kitco comments as well, your Kitco commentary, and you're kind enough to forward me your letter every week, which I really appreciate. And I can only recommend it. So go check it out. See if you can weasel your way onto David's list here, if a spot opens up. But it's really great technical analysis, and that's actually also our next topic here. Let's talk about the gold price itself and what you see there technically. I really appreciate always your macro approach to things, or bringing the macro approach to the junior mining space, and also talk about the GDX GDXJ and where things are headed right now on a technical basis.
Okay, sure. The GDX and silver both were very weak during that little bounce we had in gold when it bounced from a spike low at 1167 up to 1220. So basically, they were telling you that they were going to turn back around and go back lower. That's what we're seeing here. We had a monthly close on the GDX. Just above 1850, but still that pretty ugly red candle on the monthly there. And you've had the sector down 6 straight months. So we are due for a bounce here, but we don't know where that bounce is gonna come from, what level. But we probably have to look out for the 1125 level in gold here. I don't think it's going to go straight there. I think you're going to have a bounce before it gets there, but that's the line in the sand right there, because that's the December 2016 low, and if we get a close, a weekly close below that level, it would not be good. So that would even open up the door for possibly below $1,000. So I'm not predicting that, but you don't want to keep it out of your mind completely either. So I've got a lot of cash here. I've recommended a lot of cash ever since gold lost 1260 on the June monthly basis close. I've recommended subscribers, listeners, and readers of my column to stay out of silver producers, stay out of optionality plays. Companies that have projects, low margin projects that need 1,300 or higher gold, and stay out of high cost gold producers.
Now that's some excellent advice, and I think you've been faring really well with that as well. Because seeing your portfolio actually has been fairly stable. Not all the stocks are winners, obviously, especially in this market, but just having a stable portfolio right now is actually a win in itself.
Absolutely, yeah. It does feel a little better.
Exactly. And one thing actually that you mentioned is like you see gold trickling down to 1125 with maybe a bounce in between. But what do you see as a trigger from it bouncing back actually from 1125 and it stopping from it going to $1,000 or below?
Yeah, we really need that catalyst, don't we? I mean, we've seen a lot of analysts come out based mostly on the huge managed money short position in gold being a catalyst in itself, and it's not. We need a catalyst for them to start covering that huge short position, and the catalyst. I don't think the dollar's really going to be reversing anytime soon. I think the catalyst might be if things start to really get bad in emerging markets, and Turkey's on the edge over there. I think their finance minister stepped down, and the inflation rate there is now 18%. And you got the Italy situation in Europe's not getting any better. That their banking situation. So I really think that the dollar and gold will eventually rise together. I just don't know at what point that's going to happen.
Yeah, that's the big question I think everybody's asking themselves. And Turkey could actually have a big domino effect if Turkey falls. I think you mentioned as well in one of your reports. That's why it's at the top of my mind right now. That Spanish and Portuguese banks also are highly leveraged towards Turkey and have a lot of exposure there.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So that's the Eurozone falls.
The economy, yes, but it's that domino effect.
That is pretty scary. That is pretty scary. So, David, I was trying to fish for positive news, but I can't really see any. I was going to ask you or discuss with you any positive news you've seen, because the market's been open for a little over 4 hours now, the day after Labor Day, and there hasn't been much news out. And I'm surprised myself. I expected my inbox to just burst literally with press releases like it did last year. But so far, I think I've seen only a couple. I've seen a research update come in, and that was pretty much it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, me too. I was expecting the same thing. I figured as soon as I opened my inbox today, it would have lots of press releases, but it didn't. We really haven't seen that many. It's almost like even companies are waiting for the next shoe to drop. So as far as positive things to talk about, these high margin projects that these juniors control are getting cheaper, and it's these majors are still running out of economic ore to produce. They're still on the hunt. They've learned a lot of these management teams are still around from 2010, where they've learned from the lessons of the mistakes that they made in 2010, 2011, buying low grade bulk tonnage deposits. So at the top of a market. So now they're looking for high margin deposits at the bottom of the market. We have seen M&A happen. We have seen some companies come, be purchased by majors, even by private equity. So those are the ones to concentrate on, because sure, they might get cheaper, but as long as they have serial successful management teams that have done this before, that have sold projects to majors before, they've got enough cash for at least the next year or so. They've got a good share structure. They've got a high margin deposit that they're building out with blue sky potential in a district scale land package in a good jurisdiction. They are out there, and some of them are getting cheaper. Some of them are not getting cheaper. Some of them are going against the trend here and remaining in an uptrend. A couple come to mind are West Dome and Atlantic Gold. Those charts don't look like gold stocks to me. So, you find these gems and you put some money into them. I'm not saying back up the truck in them, but start buying, start nibbling, and they're eventually going to be acquired. It's going to happen, just a matter of time. Because, like I said, these majors are running out of economic ore. That's not changing, and we've reached peak production. So it's just a matter of time.
No, you're absolutely right. And Just sort of to close on that note, and I've read the Barrick quarterly report recently, and something that wasn't, I sort of had it in the back of my mind. Brent Cook, and that's somebody we both follow, has been touting about that for a while now. But Barrick, for example, in the next 12 months is losing 1 million ounces of its production.
Right.
And that number, that's when the penny dropped on my end, to be honest. I've been in the gold space for like 8-9 years now, but now the penny's really dropped. Like they're losing 1 million ounces. So
yep, that's huge.
That's a lot.
That's the bellwether. That's the big horse. Them and Newmont, and that merge almost happened because Newmont had the reserves and Barrick had the cash, and if they merged, they would be a pretty big force to be reckoned with in the gold market. It would be by far the largest gold producer, and that never happened. It still may happen if this market continues to be this bad. But yeah, you're absolutely right. When you see something like that, it really perks up your ears and makes you be on the hunt for some of these things that the majors are going to acquire. In my service, I have a top 8 list of companies that I believe that I'm invested in that I believe will be acquired in the near term.
Perfect. And a couple you actually mentioned. So, David, that's actually a really good note to end on. Where can subscribers or our listeners read more of your content, or where can they find you?
Well, they can go to my website, which is www.juniorminerjunky.com. And as you mentioned, my service is full, but I do have cancellation. I do have some cancellations that are coming up in the middle of September. So I've pretty much got a waiting list. If you contact me and let me know that you're interested in becoming a member, I'll put you on the waiting list. And then when those positions become available, then you can become a subscriber.
Fantastic. Dave, thank you so much for your time this morning. Really appreciate it. And I'll talk to you soon, and I'll see you at the very latest in Beaver Creek.
Looking forward to it. See you then.
Take care.